We have three wonderful guests this morning. In looking towards Autism Awareness Month, we decided that we wanted to bring in some experts about autism. And who better than Julie Webb, the founder and CEO of Advanced Behavioral Health Analysis, a clinic here in Mary Esther. And she also has founded the Advanced Sacred Hope Academy School, or ASHA. If you hear that, that'll be the same thing that we mean there. And we also have Michelle Chumley, the school administrator for the academy, who's going to be coming on a little bit later, and Beth Hart, the director of education of the academy itself. Julie, welcome to Making Connections. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, David, for having us.
Thank you for coming and joining us here. And we want to start talking to you from the perspective of as the founder and CEO of both the clinic and the academy. I had the chance to visit, and Beth gave me a wonderful tour of your facilities, and I was very, very touched and impressed because as the father of an adult now with autism, I remember the days when there was not a lot of stuff going on here in the area in 2004 and 5. So it was really, really great to see such a product, such a great thing that you do there. Tell us a little bit about the clinic itself. When did you create, or when did you found this clinic?
So the clinic was founded almost 6, 7 years ago. The time goes by so fast, but founded it with a group of amazing ladies. I think we started, there's about four of us. And it has grown to almost 30. We just
Yes.
know, I knew there was a need in this area for a place where kids could not only get that behavior therapy, but also to have fun. Um,
That's for sure. That's also very important, obviously, because it's a tough time for parents. When they first find out about their child being with autism, it's a continuous fight and a continuous struggle in our minds, obviously. And it was always a wonderful thing to have support. Again, thinking back, to me going into the world of autism, as we call it, some of the parents, it was so great to meet or to hear about some ladies that everybody would tell me, you got to talk to Susan Byram, you got to talk to Susan this, you got to talk to this lady. And sure enough, just by finding those people and talking to them, the learning process begun because they had been in that for a long time. And so that was very important. As far as the academy, I'm sorry, the clinic, and you said about 6 years ago that you created the clinic. Was there a connection to autism that you had, in your family or in your surroundings, your friendships, that led you to become the founder of a autism clinic per se?
So I started my master's degree actually in counseling and psychology. And in this area, there's a
Hmm.
place where there's both mental health and ABA. And through the internship, there was this great need of having more behavior technicians. And so I was able to do both internship under mental health and under behavior therapy. And through that, just fell in love with helping the kids gain communication skills, especially the little ones between 0 to 5, and having that early diagnosis and then helping them say their first words
Yeah,
and
oh my goodness, yeah.
communicate with their parents. So that's where it came from, is from the internship and helping those little kids gain some communication.
And in talking about the diagnosis, what can you tell that parent out there that their child is maybe not developing in what they expect would be the normal way? What kind of things should they be looking for? Because again, early diagnosis is very important.
Sure, it's very important that they're tracking the developmental milestones, those skill set that they're supposed to have between 0 and 5, and making sure that you're communicating with your pediatrician. If they're not gaining those milestones, then that's where we need some help from the specialist to make sure, right? Speech therapist, OT. Typically, it starts from there. And then with this collaboration of providers, a psychologist will come in and do that evaluation and see if they need behavior therapy, most especially if they're seeing behaviors, maladaptive behaviors, which could be self-injurious behaviors, extreme tantrums.
Hmm.
And from there, with that communication with the whole team, especially from that pediatrician. That's where you might get a diagnosis, learning disability or cognitive delays. So it's important to have that team.
Yes, very important, obviously, and also applied behavior analysis therapy. I'm a big believer on it, but to be honest with you, my son was one of the first ones that ever received it here in the area that we are at back in 2005 through what was then called Brilliant Minds of Destin, which was founded by Dr. Anna Lorinda, who had a kid with autism, and she founded that nonprofit. So I'm very thankful for that because I saw what applied behavior analysis therapy did for my son. My son was not necessarily having behavioral issues at that age, but I know that ABA assisted him in those little things like we call them the little dictionaries in my family of speaking, his first words and learning how to go to the restroom and all those kind of things. And applied behavior analysis therapy was very important to that. Can you tell us a little bit about ABA? I know we will talk more about it, obviously, from the academic perspective with Beth and Michelle, but tell us some more about what applied behavior analysis therapy is, and is there more information on your website that people can go to and read about?
Absolutely. ABA, applied behavior analysis, is the science of learning and behavior. We figure out what are the functions of behavior. It could be sensory, escape, attention, or wanting some sort of access to tangible. And from there, we analyze, we observe behaviors, and we figure out how we can help them, so that we don't necessarily change the child, but we change the environment so that they are able to have these behaviors that they need in that environment. So we do a lot of, it's one-on-one therapy, and we work on communication skills, adaptive skills, social skills, and decreasing those maladaptive behavior.
And as during the first 0 to 3 years or 0 to 5, where the kids, the early diagnosis is so important. Is it now prevalent in our area where when the child is going to their pediatrician, being taken care of the pediatrician, our pediatricians are now more aware of the existence of things outside of their medical facility, maybe such as your clinic or others? Are the schools now more aware of applied behavior analysis therapy, where they can say, hey, you need to go see this specialist, or you need to go to this particular clinic? Do you see that that's more prevalent now? Because it wasn't then, obviously.
I think it's much better. When we started this about 7 years ago, we tend to get diagnosis after 6 years of age. So if you think 6 years of age, we've already gained a lot of maladaptive behaviors that are being reinforced or have been reinforced, only because it's easier for the parents to deal with those daily challenges. So now we're actually seeing our youngest that was diagnosed was 2 years old, and that's been happening a lot more lately. Even our in-home Texas, we have a doctor there that is diagnosing as early as 2 years of age. So that's really helping. And it's good to see that, because the earlier we get that, the therapy for them, the better for the kiddos.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Thank you very much for that information. And we're going to be showing your website here soon also. And we'll make sure that the website is known for both the clinic and the academy itself.
Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Be there to capture the moment live. Get your tickets today.
Hi, I'm Jason Arnold with the Ride On Commuter Services Program, and we're here to help you get started with a bike commute. Ride On is a quick and secure way to find your best commuting options. Using your home and work addresses, you can connect with neighbors and colleagues who bike, carpool, vanpool, or take the bus. Are you an experienced cyclist who knows the best routes through the city? Need help learning the ins and outs of bicycle commuting? Whatever your situation, connecting with fellow cyclists can help get you cycling to work, school, or wherever you're heading. We all know there are many benefits to cycling, like you're unlikely to get stuck in traffic so you won't be late. Cycling is good for your health and well-being, and it's fun. It's cheaper than driving, paying for parking charges, or catching the bus or train. It's fast and efficient, especially during the morning and evening rush hours. It's good for the environment. Pedal power is the cleanest form of energy. And it's a great stress reliever. Getting outdoors and exercising is proven to improve stress levels. The Ride On team can provide personalized one-on-one support services by experienced transportation professionals who can help you learn to ride safely. The Ride On program is simple. It matches you with other cyclists or commuters in your area. You can start sharing rides to work, school, or a local event. Build your profile online at www.rideontogether.org or download the Ride On Together app from your Android or Apple device. Registering for Ride On is free, and you could get Ride On swag for your commute. The best part, commuters who bike to work at least 3 times a week also qualify for the Emergency Ride Home program. This program gives you a voucher for a free ride home in bad weather or other emergencies. Whether you bike for the environment, your health, or to save money, Ride On can help you reach your commuting goals.
So we got Michelle Chumley, school administrator, and Beth Hart. Michelle, how you doing this morning? Thank you for joining us.
I'm great. Thank you so much for having us this morning. We appreciate it. It's great to be here.
We'll be talking here soon about what the school administrator does on behalf of the academy, and also obviously the director of education, Beth Hart. Beth, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I hear you're in Milton, out there in the nice, beautiful woods outside of Milton, maybe?
Yes, I am.
Enjoying the wildlife of Milton, right? And Michelle, where do you live?
Mary Esther, very close to our clinic and school.
Oh, is that right? So you're within
Yeah.
walking distance there, back and
Yes,
forth type of thing?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us, Michelle, tell us about the Advanced Sacred Hope Academy. When was this? When did the school start?
I came on just a few years ago, and Julie had already laid the foundation for a phenomenal place, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I've been with Julie now for about 3 to 4 years, and absolutely love it. She's done a phenomenal job. Absolutely.
Now, this visit that I took 4 weeks ago or whatever, Beth gave me a wonderful tour of it. It's pretty vast, in my opinion. I mean, I was not expecting all the things that you had in combination with the clinic, but the school setting itself was pretty large. How many kids do you guys serve?
We currently at the school serve a little over 30 children. That's our currently. We also have a few children that I believe we're getting ready to. We try to accommodate. One of the beautiful things, Julie's heart is to take on as many children as we can, and so there's always going to be that need, right? There's just oftentimes so great of a need, So she. Her heart's so great. She wants to take in everybody that she can. And it really is a great place there.
Are there any statistics for the for autism here in the area? I'll throw that one to any of the three of you on how many kids with autism we have in the region here. That obviously, can tell you, hey, Julie wants to accept them all. And yes, she should, right? The school needs to be larger, obviously.
Yes.
It is already a pretty good size, but are there any statistics on how many kids with autism we have in adults in the area? Anybody?
I'm not aware of the statistics on autism in this area, but I know nationwide it's 1 out of 44 is
Oh, wow.
the diagnosis rate. So
you can just extrapolate that 1 to 44 here to the area and come up with a pretty close estimate, right? So it's it just keeps increasing.
yes.
It just keeps increasing. That figure does increase. So about 30 students. What is the age, the different ages that you serve, Michelle?
Yes, sir. Currently we have kindergarten as all the way through 9th grade. We have children that we expect will be there with us longer, but currently it's up to 9th grade. And then also we have children at our clinic
that are as early as, say, 2 years old. We try and get them in as soon as possible. And so we help them in that regard over at our clinic.
And I assume there's a waiting list, of others, that parents that are calling and want to get in there.
Yes, sir, there is. Yes.
I'm sure there is, because the product or the entity looks like it's a well-run machine, and the kids seem all happy, and everybody was hanging out and having a good time. And I was impressed also on the positive attitude of all the different administrators and the people that were there, the teachers that I got a chance to meet. Beth, join us here and talk to us from the director perspective. You're the director of education of the academy. What does that mean? What do you do?
I do a lot. I will meet the parents and I will give tours about the school. I kind of explain the setup of the day. I work very closely with the teachers to set up the curriculum for the child. Each student's curriculum is individualized. Just it's tailored right to their needs. They're not expected to come in and just be in the box if they're, slated for second grade. They're not just expected to do the second grade curriculum. We meet them where they're at, and we just tailor the curriculum to what their needs are.
Now, Beth, are you also an ABA certified individual?
Yes, I am. Every teacher, everybody that is in our school is a registered behavior technician. So everybody has an understanding of autism and the special needs that it would take to implement what we need to implement in the classroom, so that they all come from that background and they all have the understanding of what the child is capable of.
I understand. So a technician is somebody that goes through some certification of some sort, but not necessarily has the degree from the college on a related
Right.
career.
Right. There's a course that they take. They are supervised by a BCBA. The BCBA is the person who will write the treatment plan, and the registered behavior tech, or the RBT, is the person that will implement the plan that the BCBA has written for them.
I understand. So are you equal to the principal of the school in a sense, of another school? Is that technically what
Yes,
what your job would be? Yes.
Probably, yes.
What about people that want to become technicians or want to go into that type of field? Is there like an internship program or something that you guys may have or thinking about having to increase the number of people that can do that type of job? Because obviously, as autism continues to increase, the needs will
is there.
increase.
Right.
So.
Yes, definitely. When somebody expresses interest, or they, have a desire to work with children with special needs, they can come and they observe, and, we'll talk them through and explain to them kind of what it is. To work with children with special needs, you have to have a specific heart. Your heart has to love kids and just want to help. So it is not something that just anybody can do, I believe. I believe that you definitely have to have that desire. But yes, we'll take them in, we'll show them what it's about. We'll teach them from them having no experience and take them to any level of degree that they would want to have.
I understand. Julie, does the school have a relationship with the public school sector or the private school sector in any way, where you guys are able to support some of their potential, needs for special needs support?
Yeah, I think at this point, 6-7 years in, the community knows where ABA and Asha is located, and we get those phone calls about we're the place that we can help develop some of these skills. I visited a lot of the schools in the area. Private schools are often more open to having a behavior therapist help.
They are more open, is that what you said?
Yes, more open, and they're willing. And typically, private schools are a little bit smaller. Public school, I think we have a good opportunity. There's a need for us to collaborate a little bit more. We are allowed to go in there for a couple of visits to help. But my wish is that at some point, just like speech therapy and occupational therapy, the ABA could go into the public school system. There's definitely a need for that. Collaboration hopefully can occur in the next couple of years, so that we can introduce that, because we are open for anybody to come to ABA and ASHA to observe and collaborate with us. We've collaborated with other public schools to do, private schools to do training for their teachers at First United Methodist. We have opened that door for Calvary to do the same, and even the fire department. I've told them they're welcome to come here and have a little bit about autism and
Oh, wow.
ABA. Mhm.
That is so important. That the last thing you just mentioned, to be honest with you, the same with the sheriff's department and with the police department, because as you know, there's been situations that have become dangerous because if the security forces do not understand autism, they may be talking to that young man or young adult in whatever situation, and that young man or young adult is not responding appropriately, and that can be a dangerous situation to the policeman too, because he doesn't know what's going on, and they do not recognize the maybe some of the traits of autism per se. So, is that part of the reason the fire department may have reached out to you guys?
Yeah, so we've had, part of our future project too is to look into a place that's bigger, that can accommodate more students and more teachers and more therapists. And so that last visit we'd had with the fire department to make sure a building was set and ready to hold, a private school and a school and a clinic. That's a conversation that I had with the fire department in Fort Walton, and there is a need. They've expressed the need for that, to have a training on behavior and autism.
You bet, you bet. And as it relates to going back to the schools and the special needs teachers and the special needs classes, one of the things, and unfortunately, sometimes it takes a lot of effort to get things done in the school system, and we totally understand it. They cannot just concentrate on the one thing, and there's different disabilities that they have to deal with. But one of the things that I would have expected hopefully to take place now is that applied behavioral analysis therapy would be more prevalent within the school system, because of it. It's kind of proven itself. And I remember back in 2004 and 5, we actually did an article in the local newspaper about ABA as it related to what we were doing with my son and others through Brilliant Minds, and actually approached the school district about why not give the opportunity for ABA therapists to come in and either provide some training to the special needs teachers and or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if maybe the school system would be amenable to allowing some type of that certification that is offered to technicians to become a requirement of some sort for special needs teachers that deal with autism. I don't know. Maybe that's one of the things that they should be considering. Never know. That would be a great thing, wouldn't it? At least that, because we don't expect everybody to be a BCBA, obviously, right? But
Right.
if some type of training is better than none, I think. So anyway, is that something that maybe is in the works or being discussed? Because I would love to help with that one.
Oh, we would love to be a part of that. Like I said, we had started that with the private schools and had told them that we can. And ASHA is a transitional school, meaning we want to transition our kids from our school to either a public school or a private school. And in order to transition them, we have to know where they're headed. What are the expectations? How much academics do they need to do? What does that mean when there's behaviors? How do they handle it? So in order for us to successfully transition, we do need that collaboration with the schools, and we're open, we're ready for that. Like I said, sometimes we just get a little bit of a so not so much an open communication there, but we are here for that. And some schools in the area have been open. I will say that. They know who we are, and they send their students here, and and we're glad. And I hope in the future we can continue to have that relationship. And I hope the public school does open, for ABA therapists to come in there.
Oh, that would be a wonderful thing. That would be a wonderful thing. All right. So, ladies, who would like to talk about what's coming up with the Academy? Any projects, any activities, any events? Who would you like to, who wants to give me that information and give the public that information? Any activities that you have coming up maybe in the April timeframe that people should know about?
I can talk about KidCon is coming up here in Mary Esther at the mall. We have a collaboration with Mr. Dustin Parker and just called them up and said, hey, can we do a conference, similar to a Comic-Con, where it's about health and wellness for the kids. So opening up vendors to be able to come in and, definitely the fun, the bounce house and the ice cream but at the same time, we want to have local vendors talk about fitness and wellness, right? And support for the kids that we have in the community, not just for kiddos with disability, but of course, all the kids here
in general. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when is Dustin, great guy, by the way. I got a chance to meet him because I'm talking about some projects over there at the mall. Go ahead and keep telling us about that wonderful activity.
That one is scheduled for April 8th. Leading that project is Miss Mel, and she's our PTO president. That's up and running. And then after April, of course, we always have the annual gala for autism. We did our first one last year, and we're doing that again. So we need vendors to purchase the table. All the proceeds, of course, goes to ASHA for our students. And Miss Beth and Miss Michelle can talk about, what are the needs in the school too, when we're fundraising.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you for those, the information on those. Again, we'll help you publish those once all the flyers and everything, the publicity comes out. We'll gladly help you get the word out because I think it's a wonderful project. So Beth and Michelle, come on up and tell us all about the other things that are going on.
Well, as far as like for needs
for the school, anything that the community can support you all with for your school itself, maybe some donations of things.
Oh yeah, business sponsors are always wonderful. We would love to have some new items for our playground. The kids love sports, they love music, anything that has anything to do with the arts. They love all of that. A lot of our children are extremely talented with painting and singing and music and things like that. So if anybody has any classes or tours or instruments or anything like that they would like to donate, that would be a huge asset and well needed and well received. Right. Our kids are very, very talented in those areas. It never ceases to amaze me to watch them and how much they've grown in that and just the natural ability that they have there.
Do you sometimes do field trips for the kids, to places that may offer some of those activities? For example, one of I think a great project that exists here is Marlena Goosby's Grow Your Gift Conservatory of Music.
Somebody just told me about that. Yes. And Miss Michelle is working on getting us there. Most definitely, yes.
Yes, Michelle,
that is on our horizon.
Michelle may have met her at the chamber, but Marlena Gooseby is all about kids too. So that she would be a wonderful contact with you. Michelle, tell us about some of the things that you've been working on. I know you're very involved with the chamber on behalf of the academy and the clinic. How's that working out? Things going well there?
Absolutely phenomenal. I think one of my most favorite contacts is the fact that I met you through the chamber. We had immediate connection there because the heart we had for the children, and I was so appreciative of being able to kind of just come in your atmosphere. Like your heart just is beautiful, and we both have such a heart for the children that I was thankful to be able to connect you and Julie. I knew that would be a very good partnership. There are things that I would speak to, basically what they were speaking about, as far as like field trips and things such as that. We really try to let the children be able to do things kind of acclimate them out into the public. Our
Yes.
BCBAs and RBTs, that's such a vital thing for our children. And so they do a phenomenal job of trying to integrate basically their skills into the community. And so that is something that I really admire about our school. And Beth does a phenomenal job with our school. All things Asha, she's very humble at what she does, but she takes on so much, and the love that she shows for those children. Julie did a phenomenal job in handpicking her to help out with the school there, because she has a heart for her coworkers and the students, and she puts in many hours to help that succeed. And I'm very proud of both of them for what all they
Yes.
do. Yeah.
Well, one of the things Julie mentioned, and Beth also mentioned that when I met her and she gave me the tour, and I felt it when I met you. And that's passion, the passion about what you're doing in this environment of special needs, whatever the disability is. Uh, if you don't have passion to do it, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's a tough thing for teachers. It's a tough thing for administrators. It's a tough thing for people like you that are doing it on the private side per se, because, I mean, disabilities are a tough thing to see in a sense, right? But if you have passion to serve that person, that kid, then, that stuff is blotted out because you're doing it from the heart. And you just educate yourself and become a professional, whatever you're doing. But if you don't have passion for special needs, it's a tough situation for sure. And I'm glad that I definitely feel it and see it and hear it in the voices in the things that you all say. And I'm sure that's the case in all the other facilities that are here in the area.
Yes, and I think one of the most important things to realize, as far as Julie and Beth, they can really speak more to, well, just in all honesty, the intelligent side of all the words, right? I feel like I can speak more from. I have a child also. We've spoke about that, and one thing that I think that is so vital for people to know is that it doesn't, you might hear Julie talk, and she's so intellectual, right? And she's got such a phenomenal education background. But what I want to encourage other people to realize is when you come in contact with someone, there's just if you can just have that sincere love and understanding, people can see the sincerity in your heart, just of an acceptance. So you don't have to have some kind of degree to change the world. The statistics, 1 in 44, that's phenomenal. And so every day we are encountering people, and we don't necessarily know what they're, because the spectrum, it's called a spectrum for a reason. There's higher functioning children and adults now, and lower functioning. So that looks such a myriad of ways. So I think I would just like to encourage those out there to remember that there is not just children and adults dealing with this, but there are families involved. And sometimes just showing a heart of compassion and understanding when you come in contact there. A lot of people, don't avoid what you see. Oftentimes people are not comfortable with that. Just remember there are people just like you, and just a kind word and a smile can go so far in changing their life. There is something we all can do.
That's
You don't
right. That's
necessarily
right.
need a degree, yes.
Yeah, and it takes a whole community too to make sure that the things are done for those kids, for
Yes.
those special needs kids and adults, because they're going to become adults, and that's also sometimes what occurs is there's a gap in some of the services between
Yeah.
that child, that's taking, the system and the state and the country, have programs for that, and then there's a gap once they become adults. So hopefully, more things will pop up like the school here and the clinic and other services. And there's a whole bunch more than there were in 2005. I can assure you, ladies, and you are one of the best ones. And we thank you for that. Any final words, Miss Julie, the big boss?
No, I think we are looking forward to having a community support, the project. I appreciate you getting the word out. Sometimes we're a little bit scared when the word is out, because that means we're here to help, and we are here to help, but we definitely need local businesses and local leaders to help make that happen in order for us to have a bigger place, in order for us to home kids and give them what they truly need, we need that support. So I truly appreciate you doing this, and asking about the amazing things we do here. It takes a village to do all of it. So thank you.
What's Julie's timeline for that larger place?
The team is always like, slow down. No, I'm thinking the next 2 to 3 years. So
All right.
that's
It's-
what we're looking at.
It will be. It shall be. Probably less than that. Watch. Okay. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Michelle, for being with us also. And we want to thank everybody that's watching here, making connections, and we want to invite you to join us through YouTube, the Conexión YouTube page, and then we're going to make sure that this great information on the clinic, on the advanced behavioral health analysis clinic and the Advanced Sacred Hope Academy information is spread wide and varied throughout the region through our program and all our social media. So thank you for being with us and making connections. Muchas gracias, ladies. Thank you very much.
Do you want to advertise to thousands of Hispanics and non-Hispanics in Northwest Florida, and Southern Alabama?
¿Quieres promover tu empresa y producto a miles de hispanos y no hispanos?
Connection is your most cost-efficient way to do so.
Conexión es tu solución.
We are the largest English and Spanish publication in our region. Our primary mission is to inform, guide, and educate our readers via interesting content.
Somos la publicación mensual en español y en inglés de la más grande distribución en toda la región. Además de las 5,000 copias en papel, tenemos activas las redes sociales, incluyendo Facebook, Twitter e Instagram, y también por Internet.
Conexión is your bridge to connect you to the growing Hispanic market in the region. Call us.
Llámanos.